What's up, everybody? It's your boy John G. It's the Colossal Boxing post-fight show. I mean, I know that we normally do it right after the fights, but we don't got a special guest. We got a special member back. Back my man Mouse, Miggity Mouse. But everybody, introduce yourselves, and then we're gonna get right back. We're gonna get right cracking.
It's your boy Big Cool CBT. Let's go.
It's the homie Smooth Cat. Go ahead, man.
It's your boy Miles. Kentucky in the building. It's good to be back home, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We got CJ out there. CJ ain't there yet.
I don't know what's going on with him.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get it started, and when CJ gets back, we'll be good. But we're gonna start with the PBC card, man. I thought that I know that a lot of people didn't really like too much of the decisions or whatnot, but I really thought that it was really good as far as the quality of boxing that we got yesterday. But we're gonna start with the Andy Lee Peter Quillen match, and I'm gonna start with Big Cool. What'd you think? What were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that Quillen is better than what people think he is, but he's not as great as he proclaims himself to be. He's somewhere in the middle. I think him or Andy Lee can make the case that they're the second best middleweight in the world. No disrespect to Miguel Cotto, but I think both of those guys beat him right now on power alone. Plus they're fresher and they not as they don't have as much mileage on their body as Sergio Martinez did. But to their fight, it was a good fight. Although, like you noted last night while we was discussing it, it wasn't a lot of punches thrown. But when there were, leather being exchanged, it was very eventful and exciting. Quillen got 2 knockdowns on him in the first and third round, and Andy Lee returned one with a nice right hook in the 7th round. And both guys were attentive, and maybe that was because they both tested each other's power, and it kind of made them shy away from actually exchanging as much as we would like. Although they had moments of nice exchanges, but I thought Quillen eked it out 113-112, but I'm not mad at a draw or wouldn't have been mad at a lead victory. He showed the grit of a true champion and good composure to bounce back from 2 knockdowns where he was really hurt, especially the first one, and battle back and box his way back into the to the fight. And I'd like to see a rematch. I think both of those guys have put on another terrific fight. And hopefully, like Andy Lee said in his post-fight interview, that Quillen could make the weight this time and it could be for the WBO middleweight title. So overall, it was a good action fight between 2 top-tier middleweights, evenly matched.
All right, smooth cat. Actually, you know what? I know that you got some really good stuff to say about it, but I should have started with Mouse. Hey, Miggity, man, what you think about that fight last night?
We talking about Quillen and Lee, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was a really good fight. I'm kind of disappointed Quillen didn't make weight. I don't know if he can't make the weight anymore. I know a lot of people are speculating whether the fact he can make it or not. I don't know if he can't make weight anymore, if he was just being lazy and didn't want to make the weight anymore. I was disappointed in that sense. I thought it was a really, really great fight. But I don't know. I'm still sticking by mine. I don't think Quillen is that guy that. I don't want to say he's overhyped because he hasn't been overhyped, but I don't think he's this middleweight that Heyman has. I don't think he's Heyman's middleweight champion. Personally, I had him beating Lee easily. I didn't think Andy Lee was gonna give him a fight like that. So it was kind of disappointing to see that Quillen even allowed him to even get back in the fight. I mean, after he knocked him down in the first one, I thought he should have finished him. It was real disappointing to see that he hesitates when he knocks people down. He has power in his hands, but I don't feel he has explosive knockout power. I just feel he looked naturally like the bigger dude last night in the ring. After that first round, he should have finished Lee. But overall, lost to Chavez Jr. and Martinez because he's like really put the pressure on a lot of people and surprised a lot of people. But I'll give credit to Quillen and the fact that he held up for 12 rounds. I'm just disappointed with his footwork, and I feel he's too stationary. He's not really doing too much of anything anymore. It's almost as he's content with how he's fighting. And when you go to fight somebody like a Golovkin or maybe a Miguel Cotto, that style may not be the best way to go about those fights.
All right, Smooth Cat.
What I took from the fight is, as y'all know, I told y'all I felt that the Andy Lee edged it 113, 112. And early on, Quillen was, I won't say dictating the pace, but Quillen was landing the better shots. I felt the tide of the fight turning around the 5th round. Then it's like, okay, Quillen will have 1 good round, then Andy Lee would go on to have 2 good rounds. Then Quillen would then they would have somewhat of an even round. Then it's like Andy Lee, like that straight left. He started landing the cleaner shots. He started landing the harder shots, and he even knocked Quillen down in the second half of the fight after recovering from his knockdowns. So Andy Lee showed me that he's resilient as hell, and he also showed me that that Quillen is good. But kind of like Big Cool mentioned earlier, Quillen isn't what he's putting himself up to be, this super unbelievable talent. But he's a very good fighter, but he's just not top notch to me.
No, he's not. You got to remember that
he's
this
not
is
good.
a fight. I mean, Rosado clearly was winning the fight against Quillen, and now he comes back to fight Andy Lee. And after turning down $1.4 million to fight his former opponent for the belt, it's kind of disappointing. It's just 2 fights in a row that he hasn't. I mean, if you really think about it, Rosado's really a 154 fighter. So you haven't looked great against a 154 fighter who, a C+ fighter at best, and a B fighter in Andy Lee that's a 160 fighter.
The kind of I got one last thing, then maybe I can go. To kind of touch on that now something I remember the interview Big Cool had with Quillen, and he was basically saying about that situation, his fans shouldn't necessarily they shouldn't wonder why he does certain things and stuff of that sort. But I mean, $500K is a dramatic loss from 1.4 million. So I mean, he says he felt he did the right thing going that amount. I don't think 500K compared to that 1.4 million. I don't think that was smart.
Yeah, it was the right thing to do when you got Uncle Al telling you what to do.
And he lost the belt.
Hey,
Right.
but let me add this real quick before I let John JG. I ain't mean to say your whole name like that, bro. But JG take it all the way out. Take it out. But I think that it's some of the cases for Al Heyman's fighters. Al Heyman knows who wants to be great and who wants to be rich, if that makes sense. Thurman wants to be both, so he's gonna fight Guerrero, Maidana, Porter, Brook, Khan. You know what I'm saying? And Quillen wants to be rich, meaning he'll fight Lee, Gill, maybe Cotto if the opportunity presented itself. Guys like that he can beat, but it won't really enhance his legacy. So some of the guys that sign with Al Heyman wants to be rich, and some guys wants to be great. And that's just my opinion. I also think Quillen needs a new trainer, but that's just me.
You know what? I've never been too fond of Eric Brown. It's no disrespect to him. I don't see where he has Quillen improving. I just don't see it.
Me either. He's not letting his hands go. He's all right on the defensive end, but he's not a fluid combination puncher. His foot movement is not fluid. It's just jab, left hook, right hand, maybe a right uppercut, and that's it.
It look like CJ's on.
What's up? I'm
What's
back
good?
with another Colossal Boxing Talk Hangout.
Give your thoughts on the fight, man. With the Quillen.
Quillen is not.
Quillen and Andy Lee.
He hyped himself up too much, and now reality is finally sinking in. I mean, if you can't beat convincingly a guy that you should have beat convincingly, where do you go? I mean, where do you go with his next fight? I mean, do you have a rematch against Andy Lee? Do you throw him in with, because he said before he would want Golovkin, but, I mean, is he really ready for that fight? Who do you throw him in? I mean, do you throw him in with Lemieux? Because I think Lemieux will probably rough him up. I mean, where do you go if you're Quillen and you just got to draw against Andy Lee?
Hey, to play devil's advocate real quick for not to like so to speak to the Ben Quillen before I let CJ take it over. I don't think nobody in the well at least in Colossal Box Talk other than Miguel picked Quillen to straight up destroy Andy Lee. So I don't think you can say he should have did this. But I understand him gassing himself up I guess. But if we being real, we all seen this as a close 50-50, 60-40 fight, and whoever tip the scale in, but I think going in it was an evenly matched fight. But I thought that Quillen's power would, get the best of Lee. It almost did, but I don't think he was head and shoulders above better than Lee.
Well, I'm not saying that he was Andy Lee easily. I'm just saying that this should have been a fight that he should have won fairly easy. I'm saying maybe he should have won this fight. I mean, you could go as far as saying 7-5 if you wanted to go that far, but I mean, this was a fight that he took because they were expecting him to win. I mean, this was you turned down the 1.4 million fight with, the
Korobov.
and the belt with Korobov, and that, we thought would have been, a more dangerous fight in the sense of a boxing style. But Andy Lee was tailored for Quillen, and I thought Quillen was supposed to showcase, especially being a Heyman fighter, and being a Heyman fighter that was supposed to be, the middleweight champ.
Maybe Al Heyman thought the judges would win the fight with Quillen and not so Quillen himself.
Man, I don't know, man. The thing about Quillen to me is I just think that his build is kind of weird. And, I mean, even though, like, he had some trouble with making weight and stuff like that, I just felt like his legs were never there. And Mike touched on it when we were watching it together, where it's just seemed like his legs were shaky all night. Like, and I mean, maybe the weight had something to do with it, but to me, he looks a little bit top heavy. I don't know if he can even fix that at this point. But, I mean, just pointing that out lets you know that when he does, like, fight some of the real heavy hitters, like somebody, like I think Mouse would just talk about Lemieux. Obviously, Golovkin's there. Maybe Cotto. I mean, when he faces those guys, I mean, how is his chin going to hold up then?
I think his chin.
Although he's bigger, I mean, can he beat a Cotto? You know what I mean? Where do you go back on the drawing board? What do you fix? I mean, do you stick with the same trainer? And I mean, for me, I feel like it's more than one issue you have to fix with Quillen. I feel like his team has gotten real content with where he's going in his career. And I mean, this is 2 fights in a row now where you haven't looked.
3 fights in a row. He looked 3 fights in a row. The dude he did.
What do you fix in him? And does he have it in to fix it? Because I mean, Quillen doesn't have a extensive amateur background.
Yeah. What I said from the fight last night between Andy Lee and Quillen, I really had that a close 50-50 fight in my opinion.
Be cool. Can y'all hear me?
So that Andy Lee will be.
I can't hear them.
I hear you.
Yeah, CJ was talking. Y'all didn't hear CJ?
My bad.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, my bad, CJ. Go ahead.
Yeah, I felt that Andy Lee and Quillen was a 50-50 fight coming in. Just for the simple fact that he's not effective at all. And I feel Manny Lee would have a chance, right hook and a jab to push Quillen backward and start catching Quillen. And that's.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, Mike.
Yeah,
we hear you.
I can't hear y'all at all.
Exit out. Keep going, CJ.
I'll be back.
Yeah, and I feel like once he started to push Andy Lee back, once he started to put Quillen back, it started to be a problem because he didn't look as coordinated going backwards versus Gabriel Rosado, and I think that kind of laid the blueprint for how to beat Quillen. But all the play was entertaining as hell. But I felt Andy Lee took that fight. But Andy Lee just got dropped 2 times, and if it wasn't for the step on the foot, Andy Lee took this fight home.
Agreed. I agree.
I don't think he would have took it home, but I thought he would have. I think he would have probably, won maybe 7-5. You know what I'm saying?
Well, honestly, if you think about it, that one, I mean, we didn't think about it but that was a significant moment because, I mean, if the ref catches that, then Lee takes it home. But, one judge scored a 10-9, so that stopped Quillen from winning. That probably really was the real epiphany in the fight where it's like, dang, if it goes this way, this guy wins. If it goes that way like it's supposed to, then, the other guy wins. So it was weird. I think they got it right with a draw, and I think they should rematch.
Hey, ask them if they feel there should be a rematch.
Yeah, that's what JG just said.
Oh, all right.
All right, guys. My bad. Go ahead.
I mean, it must definitely be a rematch. Yeah, it must definitely have a rematch.
All right, guys, but I'm gonna jump into it. I'll jump into another topic, and then we'll see what's in the future for them. But let's talk about the Garcia and Peterson fight, and I'm gonna start with Smooth Cat on this one. What you think about it? And I mean, who'd you really have winning?
You know what? This is one of those fights where you get a lot of mixed reviews. I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews on this one. I feel that Lamont won that fight. I think he won it clearly because that's like I was telling y'all. I felt after the first 4 rounds, I felt it was 2-2. So after that, then if I'm exact, I think the 5th round went to Danny. If I'm exact, is it right? The 5th and the 6th went to Danny. Then no. Damn it. Hey, I the order I put it in, but I just know I'm gonna say it like this. I feel Lamont,
before you get to sorry.
I felt Lamont won rounds 2. Not 2. He lost rounds. I felt he won round 3, round 4, round 6, and 8 through 12. I felt he won 7 of the 12 rounds. He not only was frustrating Danny, he was countering Danny earlier. And something I kind of else wanted to touch on outside of the fight was the commentary. I mean, I respect Sugar Ray Leonard and I respect Marv Albert, but Marv Albert didn't know the difference between a left hook and a straight right hand. And Sugar Ray Leonard the whole time he was pushing an agenda to root for the popular fighter.
No, he was pushing it for Peterson.
He was pushing for Peterson.
He was pushing
Peterson.
No,
he was Dick Ryan Peterson, dude.
Once Peterson came on.
No,
he didn't. No, he
The
didn't.
whole fight.
He didn't. He was Dick Ryan Peterson from beginning to end, dude.
He was pushing Peterson early from round 1 to round 12, and then to the next fights.
But the thing is, Danny, like what I kept seeing people say is Lamont didn't do enough to win the early rounds, and I was just saying, what the hell did Danny do in the early rounds? Danny was missing shots.
But
the whole fight.
Go ahead, JG.
It was trash until round 10.
Huh?
Bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finish and then I'll go.
No, you good. No, just to jump in real quick.
Saying, like,
go ahead.
I was gonna say like let's be real. Like Mike was having a hard time, and like if you look back on it, like unless you really watch it again or you have a scorecard, like the fight was trash up until probably about round 8, maybe round 8 to round 10. Like it was a trash fight. It was really hard to score some of the rounds, even though Peterson was making a mess and like doing the shuffle and doing doing the best Sugar Ray Leonard impression. Like he wasn't really like making Danny pay. It kind of at times reminded me of Laura Canelo, like some of the rounds where I gave to Canelo because it's like Laura was, making a mess and, Danny didn't cut the ring off. I mean, to go back and forth between two, but it's like it's hard to score because it has the perception that Peterson is running, even though he's really not. I didn't think he was running, but, I mean, I felt Danny was probably landing a few body blows. That probably was the difference in a couple of those rounds. But there was a lot more uneventful rounds than there was action. But when there was action, Peter dominated, and he made
what I see,
Danny look like a little boy.
I think why I'm not mad about Danny winning, like I said, even though I thought Peterson won 75, and I'll tell you the rounds that I gave him. I gave him rounds 2, 3, 8 through 12 for Peterson. And the rest you can figure that out. Get the rest of Danny. But the reason why I think Danny got the decision and Lamont didn't, even though Danny was missing a lot of shots, he was still more active than Lamont was in terms of trying to force the action, throwing punches, and he did land the occasional left hook and some body shots that were telling. In the fight it didn't hurt him or nothing, but they definitely made the impact, obviously, on the judges. But, Lamont proved that he was the better fighter. He's more versatile. He can fight on the inside. He can box. He was the bigger puncher in this fight, which wasn't expected. He was just the overall better fighter, and Danny was wrong when he said that that Lamont was good and he was great.
And Danny Garcia fighters losing.
And, if Lamont would have turned it up early and dug to the body, he would have took the soul of Danny, and we'd be talking about a different outcome. But it is what it is, and hopefully Lamont.
But he didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't. Hopefully he get his rematch.
Like I said, man, I told you before the fight. Like I said before the fight, SG was gonna take it. I was right. All niggas was wrong except for John and Miguel. I just wanted to let y'all know the first period. But this fight could have went either way, in my opinion, if Peterson would have stepped up in the first 5 rounds and stopped running like a little bitch.
But you was wrong at how you said Danny was going to destroy him. I tell you that. He beat him, but it wasn't like we know who the better fighter. We know who the better fighter is.
They can hear me?
I think
not rounds to 3. That's what it would have been. But I said in my prediction video that Peterson boxed, he was going to give Danny trouble and was going to win. Peterson came out boxing, and if he was a little bit more offensive, this fight would have been so much. But he wasn't. He let Danny steal the couple rounds, and Danny wasn't sharp at all. He wasn't in shape. And the game plan was I don't know what the game plan was for Danny Garcia. He wasn't getting on his toes. He wasn't.
For that left hook.
He was just following Peterson the whole night.
Looking for that left hook.
He was just following Peterson. He wasn't cutting off the right.
Stand in front of him and bang. That's what he wanted.
Yep, he couldn't get the left hook off. Lamont kept that right hand up, and he couldn't do shit with him. I mean, basically, if this fight was just based on who won without a point system, I would have had to pick Lamont Peterson. But with the point system, I had Danny winning by 2 rounds.
I agree. I'm with CJ.
No way. There's no way Danny won that fight.
Miguel, nobody asked you, man. Did you pick Danny Garcia?
You know what? I'm going to say this now. I seen some crazy comments on Facebook yesterday with, everybody knows I'm Puerto Rican. Everybody knows I love my country, or my island. That's not really a country, but my island. And one I would like to say, Danny is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's not from the island. Yes, he represents Puerto Rico, but he's not from the island. 2, he lost that fight no matter which way you want to look at it. I mean, I'm somehow within the last couple of years, I've lost the perception of why we classify fighters. I mean, back when you look at Muhammad Ali and Frazier and Hagler and Leonard and Trinidad and De La Hoya and whatnot, you Pernell Whitaker, you classified different styles of fighting. You had your boxer, you had your boxer punches, you had your punches, everybody had a different style, and it's like now they want to score boxing fights different. Everybody calls what Lamont did last night running, but if you look at I think it was round 8 or 10, at one point, Danny Garcia does this overhand right, and Lamont rolled it over and just, looked back and ran to the other side of the ring and kind of made
Mouse.
What's up? What's up?
Puerto Rican.
He said,
brother.
"What's up?"
He got some technical difficulties. Hey, Mouse, go ahead and finish what you were saying. Finish your thought.
All right. Well, at one point, Lamont rolled that punch over, and it reminded me of that moment when Floyd Mayweather moved from Canelo's punch and made him look stupid in front of everybody, and everybody thought that was fucking amazing. But for some reason, Lamont Peterson does the same thing, and it's called running and hiding.
Right.
I saw a Lamont Peterson that in round 10 was bullying Danny Garcia, in that on them ropes. I've never seen Danny Garcia on the ropes get bullied like that before. Even with a Matisse, who I feel hits harder than Peterson, never put Garcia in that predicament. Danny Garcia's strength so far has been him backing away and throwing his hooks. Peterson took everything from Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia's team showed they had no answer for that. There's no way Garcia won that fight. This is the second fight in his last 3 fights that he's been gifted. I picked Danny to win because I knew they were going to give it to Danny regardless. But I remember before we even had the discussion on the Peterson, before this fight was even made and we were all calling for Peterson Garcia, I had told everybody Peterson would outbox Garcia. But we know boxing politics. There's no way Heyman's going to let, his boy lose that belt. Now, where does Danny's stock go from here? I mean, his next fight may not be. It's only a matter of time for this guy is going to hit the canvas. And if a Lamont Peterson is hurting you like that, I don't even want to think about what's going to happen when you get to 47. But I think anybody who's seen that fight and honestly knows what's going on in the boxing world, Lamont Peterson rode so many punches, it almost looked there. It made Danny look so amateur at times that it was just, I thought it was comical, to be honest with you.
Hey, I agree.
The only punch Danny could land was like a hook to the body. That was it.
Right.
That was it.
It was really effective.
Was that left? Was the right hook? Was the right hand? That's the only one he was landing.
Who?
He wasn't letting him get with that left hook. That was a wrap. Peterson got that hand too high.
I think, you know what, we're starting to see Danny Garcia for who he really is. I think Danny has built too much.
Hold on, Mouse. Mouse, I have a question for you, Mouse. Do you think the Lucas Matisse fight took something out of Lucas Matisse and Danny Garcia, because they both haven't been the same fighter since?
No, yeah, but you know what? I think it goes before the Matisse fight, because I feel he's built too much confidence on that left hook since he beat Amir Khan. His left hook has become his dominant shot, and since people have emphasized that, it's almost like he looks for that left hook every fight.
Yeah.
He doesn't look for no other punch but that left hook. So, and the sad thing about it is that I feel that Angel Garcia, his father, his trainer, doesn't. If you watch, just listen to when Danny goes back in the corner, and you tell me what adjustments does Angel Garcia tell Danny to make in that fight? You tell me what adjustments does Angel Garcia tell Danny to make in that fight? You know what I mean? Smacking your son in the face and telling him, "Come on, you have to get it together." It's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not. Telling your son, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you're getting beat. You need to start moving, cut off the ring better. You know, let your hands go. You know.
Well, I don't. Hey, Mouse.
In that corner for Danny.
Hey, Mouse. Oh, I did hear him in the Herrera fight tell Danny he got to bend his knees. He got to bend his knees when he was on the ropes. That was one thing, and he kept telling him that, and Danny wasn't listening. So maybe y'all are on to something there where maybe he's not. Maybe those two aren't getting the same. Maybe Danny's not responding the same. You know what I mean? Yesterday was kind of hard because I mean there were some commercials in between, so we don't know everything that Angel was telling him. But maybe there's a possibility that Danny's just not responding.
Danny, in my opinion, Danny needs to be training.
I think Danny is just. I think Danny is done. I think Danny is done after the Matisse fight. I think Matisse is done after the fight. I think that's a decision on Matisse or Ruslan. I think I'm gonna roll Ruslan now, but I think they both ruined each other and took a lot out of each other, and neither fighter has been the same.
I don't think so.
Neither fighter has been the same.
I don't think. I
do. Look at the John Lucas. Look at the Lucas Matisse versus the John Molina fight. Look at John Molina versus Adrian Broner.
No, I agree. With
Tell me,
he's kind of saying, but I don't.
I mean, you know that's different there though, because I mean, you still got to factor in Molina took damage from Matisse as well as he gave damage. So I mean,
but Molina,
the guy who fought.
True, but Molina didn't do.
Hello.
Yeah,
all right. Didn't look the same at all.
I don't think Garcia shot. I just think that Lamont was better than him. Herrera was better than him that night. He can't fight on his back he can't fight on his back foot. He depends on the left hook too much. His defense, it comes and goes, but he's always been the same fighter he's been. He's wild with his left hook. It's just a simple fighter.
He ain't got no defense. His defense is mediocre at best.
I agree. You know what? I'm something about Danny. That's like I was gonna say this real quick. The main thing I say with Garcia is what his problem is. The same thing his father is worrying about Gennady Golovkin and Canelo and them. You say all they do. Oh yeah, those guys, they don't got no talent like Danny. They just like to look for one big punch. What does Danny like to do? Look for one big punch. So I mean, if you call him a spade, you got to call your son too.
But he completely wrong about Golovkin and Canelo. They don't just look for one big punch. They combination punchers. So he wrong about that. Danny just a one big punch.
Go ahead,
But let JG jump in.
Oh no, I was gonna say
Hold on, Mouse.
I was gonna say Mouse say the last thing, and then we'll jump into. I want everybody to name 2 fighters they want the guys on the PBC card to fight next, or names in the bucket. But go ahead, Mouse, finish that last thought, and we'll get on to that.
What's the question?
No, I was gonna say finish your last thought.
Your last thoughts on Garcia and Peterson.
My last thought, I think Peterson should be the champion. I think Danny's team needs to go back to the drawing table, and I think they need to work on him cutting the ring better. I think they need to work on him getting back to his basics and understanding why he became a champion in the first place. I think since he's become a champion, he's gotten a little bit arrogant with it, and he's forgot his fundamentals. But if they can go back to that, I mean, Danny's not a bad fighter, man. I mean, he beat solid competition. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his resume is pretty, sound for who he's fought. He has pretty good names on that resume. But there's no way you can sit there and say Peterson. Garcia lost that fight, and if his team don't get together, it's only a matter of time before he hits that canvas.
Agreed. Okay, so what I want everybody to do now, and we're gonna start with CJ on this. I want you to name two guys that you could see Lee fighting next. Two guys for Quillen. Two guys for Garcia next. Two guys for Peterson.
What do you want to go first?
Two guys for Garcia. I see Omar Figueroa.
Stop.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Hey,
That was a
hey,
joke.
don't play like that, man. You might set that up for real.
Oh man.
Hey, if Garcia can't beat Figueroa, man,
I would say if he's going to move up, I will say if he's going to move up, I would say Kell Brook and perhaps a guy like Robert Guerrero would suffice.
But he wants Kell Brook versus Garcia.
Yeah.
He said what?
Oh. CJ, you trying to get Garcia best, bro.
He said you're trying to get Garcia stressed.
I said Kell Brook. What's wrong with Kell Brook? Kell Brook can beat him.
Right. He said you're trying to get Garcia stressed by Kell Brook.
Hey, Miles, who you got, man? Oh, actually, you didn't talk about. Oh, my bad.
Oh, let me finish. I got you said Peterson. You said the guys for Peterson will be. I like to see him fight Mauricio Herrera. And if he's gonna move up, somebody like Errol Spence.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And if you want
Spence.
Ooh, they brought each other
Quillen and Quillen, two guys for Quillen, and I would like to see him fight is Andy Lee once again, and a guy like I would like to see him fight the winner between the Dom and who's the Dom and what's my man's name? David Lemieux. I'd like to see him fight the winner of that, and Andy Lee. I'd like to see him fight Golovkin or
all right, Mouse next.
Go ahead, Mouse.
For Quillen, I got I'm gonna go with Golovkin because I just want to see Golovkin crush him. And
Quillen might knock out Golovkin. Might knock him out, like Jarrell said yesterday.
What is that?
Go ahead, man.
I said Quillen might knock him out, like Jarrell said yesterday.
What JG said?
No, that CJ said Quillen might knock out Golovkin.
Oh my God, CJ, hang yourself for that comment. Quillen not knocking out Golovkin.
No, could you tell him the whole? Did you tell him the whole? Hold on, did you tell him the whole sentence was said, Mike? Said like Jarrell said.
He said like Big Cool said.
I will bet anybody on that fight. I'm willing to put 500 down that Quillen will not knock out Golovkin. But I got Golovkin for Quillen, and I got I think he should give Andy Lee the rematch, just simply on the fact that it was a draw, and I feel like that's unfinished business. But as far as Garcia, I think Garcia needs to fight Herrera again because people still feel he lost that fight. I think that fight was more controversial than the Peterson fight. But I would like to see him fight. I don't know. I like to see him get with Broner. I like to see Broner kick his ass. I'm saying it right now. Broner's gonna kick Danny's ass. So I like to see Broner and Herrera go with Danny. Or maybe on the cage rematch.
So you think? So we all giving Broner a chance versus Garcia now.
I always did. I didn't. I don't think. I still don't know if he beats Garcia, but I still give him a chance. I always did. All right, hey Mouse.
Go ahead, Mouse. They basically were saying that they always gave Broner a chance against Garcia.
Well, I think Broner will beat Garcia, and I think Broner will beat him convincingly. I can see Broner walking down Garcia, which is bad.
Damn, bro.
He don't even believe that because he laughing.
Even Broner saying that, that's what makes it worse. I don't even like Broner, but I mean, I think he has better ability than Danny. I can see Broner walking down Danny easily. Well, not easily, but I mean, let me tell you something. Broner took the Dana shot pretty good. I mean, yeah, he got knocked down, was it twice?
Yeah.
But he did go to 12 rounds with a bigger natural guy. People forget that. Broner had jumped from 135 to 147 at that time. I think if Broner, now that he's getting used to that 140 pound, even if they did a 142 catch weight, I don't think Danny's going to be able to face him. I mean, he may hurt him at one point or another, but I think Broner's ability and skill will be better than Danny's. Danny doesn't do real good with people that can move. So,
Well, then him and Broner might be a match made in heaven.
Right.
Did you say Andy Lee?
The press conference would be fucking official. Can you imagine Broner versus Angel Garcia? Make it happen.
Hey Miguel, who you got? Andy Lee. Who'd you pick? Did you pick Andy Lee yet?
He said Quillen or
Versus Golovkin and Andy Lee.
So
Golovkin in here to be able to.
Jarrell, who you got?
What's up?
Pick some names. Who you got?
hold on, Mouse.
Quillen. I mean, for Lee, rematch with Quillen or shit, Lemieux. Or Golovkin, whatever. Whoever one of those guys want to fight. For Quillen, I'd like to see him face Golovkin or Lemieux next. I think he can knock out Golovkin, but that's just for another topic. But you know, I honestly think so. I don't think he will. You know, people call me crazy and laugh if you want, but you know, he got power. And that's the one thing that he can combat, you know, Golovkin with. You know, he can battle him with power. But as for Garcia, I'd like to see him face Broner or Robert Guerrero next. And for Peterson, I'd like to see him face Broner or Robert Guerrero next. I think those interesting, you know, style clashes.
I agree.
Especially Guerrero and Peterson.
Go ahead, Smooth Cat.
For Quillen, I want to see, as everybody, I want to see the Andy Lee rematch. Second, match him up with David Lemieux. For Lee, the obvious, the Quillen rematch, or either I want to see Andy Lee versus Cotto for some reason. I really want to see that fight now.
That's a good fight, Mike. I agree with you. I
want to see Lamont. Let me see. Lamont versus Danny, or either Lamont versus Amir Imam. I want to see Danny Garcia versus either Lamont or Marcos Maidana.
Okay.
Same thing they said versus Matisse. Danny gonna get killed. But I would pick Madonna. Though.
All right, the guys I'm gonna pick for Andy Lee, same for Quillen. I'm gonna do like Dylon. Quillen, and Quillen. It's the other way around too. I don't want to see them fight nobody else until they get that one right. And honestly, and then if you want to be real, Quillen really, to me, even though Gabe Rosado like has been, you know, like beat like 3 or 4 times in a row, whatever, and draw at the BKB, he can make that. He can make that right too. But to me, as far as Golovkin, he doesn't deserve Golovkin right now. And that's just how I feel. I mean, I know everybody wants to still get his ass whooped, but he doesn't deserve that fight to me right now. And as far as Garcia, I would like to see Garcia versus Broner. That's one. Um, and Devin Alexander. I would like to see Devin Alexander against Danny if he's trying to go up to 147 where he's at, because I think that's probably a crossroads fight. If he can't beat Devin Alexander,
Garcia versus Devin Alexander.
he's in
I
trouble.
thought about saying Alexander for Garcia, but I ain't.
Alexander will outbox the fuck out of Garcia.
How about we got Mouse and Garcia?
Hey, I forgot one for Quillen. I forgot one.
I gotta defend my boy, although he got his ass beat by him.
Hey, Quillen. Hey, Quillen should fight Al Heyman for making him miss that $1.4 million payday.
I know, right?
Well, he'll never see $1 million again if he fight Al Heyman.
All right, and for Peterson, I would like to see Peterson. Yeah, I would like to see Peterson fight either Kell Brook or Amir Khan. Yeah, I would love to see that rematch, even though I think Khan probably won't fight him again because of that testosterone thing. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. If Peterson's moving up to 147, that's another lucrative fight, and I think that people would love to see it.
I think Peterson can beat quite a few welterweights. I don't think he'd beat Thurman or nobody like that, but I think he can beat Brook. If he got a rematch with Bradley, I think he'd beat Bradley now.
I think so too.
Bradley now.
He really looked good at welterweight, man. He really looked good at welterweight last night. That fight was a welterweight fight, so I don't know what people keep Danny talking about. So maybe they can fight again at welterweight.
But man, it just depends on. Cause he's like a Chris Ariola. He's either gonna show up the fight or not show up the fight.
Who?
Hey, whoa. I ain't gonna let you disrespect Lamont. Lamont ain't nowhere near like no damn Areola.
For one, he's a champion. For one, he's a champion.
One of the two. I mean, he should have boxed Matisse, and he decided to bang with Matisse for some reason and got it down and knocked out.
Lamont's problem is Lamont
probably Amir Khan, he fought on the inside, which got him the win, but he's all over the place. I mean, it just depends. I don't think Peterson would beat Bradley now. I think Bradley's still a better fighter and a better boxer.
You say he all over the place.
You said what?
Performances, but far as
Bradley stunk his last fight.
Bradley kind of pushing the line up.
He said Peterson beat.
I don't know.
I think at 147, Bradley would still beat Peterson like he did at 140.
No, I think Peterson will welcome him to engage him so he can really, put a hurt on him. Lamont is involved as a fighter. I'm not saying he's no world beater now, but I'm saying he can beat some elite guys. And to compare him to Chris Arreola is disrespectful in so many ways. He comes in shape. He's been a champion. He taking the sport very serious. Man, yeah, that was a comparison going to the left, man.
And really, the fights that he lost, other than last night, which kind of counts against his record, unfortunately. I mean, he really lost to some really good guys. I mean, Tim Bradley, is a top fighter, even though I still think he's a little overrated. He is a top fighter, and Matisse was pretty much walking through everybody at that point. So I wouldn't call him Chris Arreola.
Hell no, nowhere near Chris Arreola.
No.
He's a champion. He comes in shape. I don't know where that one come from. He comes in shape and he's been a champion. Arreola has done neither.
Right. Hey, I'll say this, and I'm an Arreola fan. And Arreola came in shape, I believe, one fight when he beat the hell out of Seth Mitchell, and ever since it went downhill.
That's the fight he should have come in shape with, because Seth Mitchell didn't have no chin.
When they train to fight, they can fight really good, but when they don't, they suck.
All right, but hey, Jarrell, I mean, big
Yeah.
cool. So we're gonna turn it over to you, and we're gonna talk about what previews.
Hold on, Mouse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're about to go to the second part of this hangout. Um, I'm still live, but we're about to go to the second part of this hangout where we're gonna discuss for a few minutes next week's Lucas Matisse, Ruslan Provatnikov, HBO card. Also with Thomas Delorme taking on Terrence Crawford for the vacant WBO junior welterweight title in a split site doubleheader. That fight with Crawford and Delorme taking place in Dallas, Texas, and Matisse Provatnikov taking place in New York. JG, you can start that off. We're gonna get
All
predictions
right.
or whatever.
Crawford Delorme. That's gonna be a pretty good fight. But the one thing that I mean, Delorme is a very good fighter, and he's very scrappy. But the one thing that I think I can see Crawford exploiting some of the things that Hank Lundy did to him the last time. Because honestly, I had Hank Lundy edging that fight out. Crawford is just he's much more crappier than Hank Lundy is. So I think that he's probably gonna edge that out and win that title and probably get some more recognition. Uh, as far as Ruslan and Matisse, honestly, man, I am down the middle. I don't know. I mean, really, I mean, I'm leaning more towards Ruslan because I think that Matisse might be a little shot worn. I do think that Danny and him took each other's souls a little bit. So I mean, if I had to lean one guy's way, I think I got Matisse losing by Ruslan stopping him. But if it goes 12 rounds, I think Matisse probably takes it. I still haven't come up with a prediction on it yet, but that's where I'm at now. I'm probably just waiting until probably like midweek to stay with the decision.
Well, I'm gonna get my prediction now, and I probably, maybe we can collaborate on one of these videos and break it down. But my prediction, and I'm set in stone on both of my predictions for the Delorme Crawford fight. Both guys are talented. We all know the hype that was surrounding Delorme coming out of Puerto Rico, the amateurs and whatnot. And he was building a nice buzz for himself until he ran up against a fellow hard punching, well, not fellow because he's not fighting Argentinian, but Matisse's fellow countryman, Carlos Abregu, who can punch. Um, he was stopped in the seventh round, I believe. Ever since then, he's been gun shy. He doesn't like to exchange. He clinches a lot. He holds a lot. I wouldn't say he runs, but he definitely doesn't like to exchange. But he does have a very good jab, a very powerful jab, and a nice, powerful right hand, nice left hook, and very solid boxing skills. But I'm not sold on his chin. I don't know if Crawford's power will carry up to 140. I don't know about that, but if it does, I expect him to get a late TKO stoppage around the 10th or 11th round. I just think that he's much better than Delorme, more versatile, more confident, more composed, more mentally strong. He's just a better fighter, and he's a star in the making. And I expect him to, showcase those skills in another impressive victory in his junior welterweight debut next weekend. As far as the big one for next weekend, Matisse taking on Provatnikov is a very, very intriguing fight. It's going to be a very exciting fight. But I'm going with Matisse. People say Matisse may be, a little shot worn, and that may be true. But what I think is, Provatnikov's kryptonite is the body assault. Like, feather fisted Bradley. No disrespect to him when I make that statement. That's just a fact. He hit in his fight with Provatnikov. He hit Provatnikov to the body and made Provatnikov take a step back and a deep breath, and that's saying something. Imagine what a power puncher like Matisse will do to the body, and I just think that he's gonna, surprise people. He's gonna show that his chin it can stand up to, a tremendous amount of pressure that it will be on, under come fight night. But I think it's gonna be an action fight, and I think that, Matisse is gonna get him out of there around the 8th or 9th round because. We also got to consider that Ruslan Provatnikov might have been shot worn too, because he's been in fight in wars with Herrera, You know, he had a tough fight, even though he walked through Alvarado. You know, Alvarado had his moments, so he's been in some tough fights, man. And I think both guys are, you know,